When I woke up, I wasn't in the hotel anymore. I was lying on a hospital bed, staring at a ceiling that felt too bright, too clean, too normal. For a moment, I convinced myself it'd all been a nightmare. The hotel, the knock and the figure in the elevator, none of it made sense anymore. My head was pounding and my throat felt dry like I hadn't spoken in days. A nurse noticed I was awake and quickly called someone in. Moments later, a man walked into the room. He wasn't dressed like a doctor. He wore a dark suit and had a calm, controlled expression, the kind that makes you uneasy without knowing why. "You're lucky to be alive," he said. "What happened?" I asked, my voice barely working. "You were found outside an abandoned building, alone. No injuries, but you were unresponsive. The hotel," I whispered. "The Silver Crest." For a brief second, something changed in his expression, but he hid it quickly. "You should rest," he said. "You've been through a lot." But I knew he was hiding something. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the figure standing in the elevator, its head slowly tilting, its voice echoing in my mind. "You let me in." Then I heard it again. Knocking, soft. Slow, deliberate. 3 knocks. My eyes snapped open and locked onto the hospital room door. The faint light from the hallway flickered underneath. Knock, knock, knock. "No," I whispered. "That's not possible." I forced myself to sit up. My entire body tense. I stared at the handle waiting for it to move, but it didn't. Instead, I heard something else. A faint sound coming from inside the room. I slowly turned my head toward the dark TV screen. And that's when I saw it, in the reflection, the same tall figure. But it wasn't standing in front of me, it was behind me. I turned instantly. Nothing. The room was empty. My breathing became heavy and uneven. I grabbed the remote and turned on the TV just to break the silence. Static filled the screen for a moment before the image changed. A camera feed. A hallway. A familiar hallway. Camera. 6. My heart stopped. The screen showed the 3rd floor corridor of the hotel, but this time it wasn't empty. Someone was standing there. Me. I was staring directly into the camera, completely still, not moving. Then slowly, the version of me on the screen smiled. "That's not me," I whispered. The TV flickered, and the image began to zoom in on its own closer and closer until my face filled the screen. And then my eyes moved. Not on the screen, but behind me. I felt it before I heard it. Something standing right behind my shoulder. Then a voice whispered right next to my ear. "You left the door open." I froze, completely unable to move. The TV suddenly went black, and in the reflection I saw it again, standing directly behind me, closer than ever, its head tilted slowly in that same unnatural way. Then everything went silent. No sound, no movement, just darkness. The next morning, the nurses found me sitting on the floor in the corner of the room, staring at the blank TV. They said I hadn't moved all night, but that wasn't the worst part. Because when they checked the hospital security footage, they saw someone enter my room. Tall, unmoving, walking slowly through the door without opening it. And just before the footage cut out, it turned toward the camera and tilted its head. Later that day, I received a message from an unknown number. It only said one thing: you can't close the door anymore. I stared at the message for a long time without blinking. You can't close the door anymore. My hands were shaking as I read it again and again. The number was unknown. No profile, no name, nothing. Just that one sentence. I tried to tell myself it was a prank. Maybe someone from the hospital. Maybe someone who knew about the hotel. But deep down, I knew the truth. It wasn't a person. I didn't reply. I couldn't. I turned off my phone and placed it face down on the table beside me, trying to ignore the growing feeling that I wasn't alone anymore. The room felt different, colder, heavier, like the air itself was watching me. That night I refused to sleep. I kept the lights on, staring at the door, waiting for something to happen. Every second felt longer than the last. Nothing came. No knocking, no footsteps, just silence. Around what felt like the middle of the night, my phone vibrated. I froze. Slowly, I reached for it and turned it over. Another message from the same unknown number. This time it said, "Why aren't you opening it?" My chest tightened, opening what I whispered. Then I heard it, a faint sound behind the wall. Not from the door, not from the hallway, from inside the room. A slow dragging noise, like something moving through the walls. My breathing stopped. The sound moved closer, scratching, crawling right behind my bed. Then it stopped, complete silence. I slowly turned my head toward the wall, and that's when I saw it. A shape pressing outward from the surface, like something was trying to push through from the other side. The wall began to bulge slightly, the paint cracking, forming the outline of a hand. Long fingers stretching unnaturally, pushing, reaching, trying to get through. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. My body felt locked in place as I watched the wall slowly split. And then it stopped. The shape vanished instantly. The wall returned to normal, as if nothing had happened. My phone buzzed again, opened the door. I looked at the room in confusion. There was no door there, not where the wall had moved. But then I noticed something. A faint line running across the wall, perfectly straight, like a hidden outline. My heart started racing. "No," I whispered. "No, no, no." The line grew darker, more visible until it became clear. It wasn't just a wall. It was a door, one that hadn't been there before. The handle slowly formed out of the surface, as if it had always existed, just hidden. Waiting, my phone buzzed again. "You opened it once. Now open it again." Tears filled my eyes. "I don't wanna," I whispered. The room lights flickered violently, then went out. Darkness swallowed everything, and in that darkness I heard breathing. Not mine, something else, right in front of me. Then a voice closer than ever. "You never left." The hidden door creaked, slowly opening, revealing complete darkness inside. And from that darkness, something stepped forward. The next morning, the hospital room was empty, the bed untouched, the lights still off and the wall completely normal. No door, no crack, nothing but on the security footage. At exactly 2:03 a.m., the camera captured something impossible. The wall opening and someone walking through it. Not into the room, but out of it. And just before the footage ended, the figure turned toward the camera, and for the first time it smiled.